because you probably don't know this. I was not even supposed to be here, according to doctors. When my mother was carrying me at 6 months, they lost the heartbeat, and the doctor said that I was dead. A prophet at Angela's temple put her hand on her stomach and told her that this baby that you're carrying will live and will speak to nations. Your gifts can be your purpose, but the only way they can be your purpose is to allow God to use those gifts to take you to that next level. And only God can do that.
What is Aunt Dee hitting her mark? What does that look like to you?
There's a scripture in the Bible that says we press towards the mark of the prize.
Come on now.
Of the high calling, which is in Jesus Christ.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Hitting Your Mark, where I get to talk to creative people who I believe are definitely hitting their mark. And today's guest is very special because this is the first time that I've had an actual family member on the show. This young lady here that I have on today, she is an actress and an artist, a musician, a playwright, author, an ordained minister. What else am I missing? Is that all of them? Or is it, any title that you can have creatively, she's got them. But above all of those, I am so grateful and so blessed that I get to call her auntie. Today's guest is none other than Miss Delores Lakey-Stewart, AKA Aunt Dee.
Yeah, all right.
Thank you so much for being here, Aunt Dee.
Oh, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, of course. Come on now. I knew when I was
Yes.
doing this, I had to have the icon herself on the show.
Oh, please.
Come on now.
Okay. All right. I received that.
You'll take it? You'll take
I'll
it?
take
Yeah.
that. Right.
Well, I definitely do look up to you a lot, and I definitely do admire you. Anytime that I talk to you, like I call you, you're always like, oh, I'm playing at this service right now. I'm singing and stuff. I'll call you back. They're like, oh, I'm about to do this table read. I'll call you back, nephew. I'll talk to you later. You're always busy and still like going for it and doing the thing.
Right.
I would love to know, just like straight off the bat, what is it that keeps you motivated today still?
Well, I know that I have purpose, first of all.
Yes.
I know that I have purpose, and I know that as long as God gives me strength, then I am here to fulfill that purpose. And that came from early childhood, because you probably don't know this.
Okay.
But I was not even supposed to be here, according to doctors.
Oh, wow.
And when my mother was carrying me at 6 months, they lost the heartbeat. And the doctor said that I was dead and that she would spontaneously abort me. And it did not happen. She went into labor about a month or so later, went to General Hospital, and I was born.
Wow.
But even after I was born, I was only 2 pounds. They told her to let me stay there.
Yeah.
And then I would die. Of course, they would just allow me to die a natural death.
Yeah.
And my mother refused to keep me there, to let them keep me there.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, she told them, my mother was a faith woman, and she told them that you told me I was not going to have another child to live. I did. And now you're telling me that this child is going to be brain dead, or she's not going to walk. All of these things they were telling her about me.
Yeah.
And then she took me home in a shoebox. She said she anointed me with blessed oil.
Come on.
And nurtured me. And that was it. You know, that I knew from what she told me that, you know, that my purpose was set, because this had already been prophesied to her by a prophet at Angela's temple, who had told her, put her hand on her stomach and told her that this baby that you're carrying will live and will speak to nations. And so that has been my mantra, so to speak, for my life. And even though there are times that I have diverted from that path, you know, because everybody wants to go their own way.
Yeah.
You know, at different times in their lives, you know. But God has always brought me back to that purpose that He intended for me. And so that's the biggest motivation. The second thing is because I can see the lives that have been changed, the lives that have been refocused and reprioritized because of what God has invested in me to give to others.
Yeah.
So that keeps me going. It keeps me going. And you get tired, but you know what? It keeps me going.
Yeah, that is such an inspirational story.
Right.
No, of course, I have not heard that
Yeah,
before.
you hadn't heard that before.
I ain't heard that one before. But I love that. You said that she put you in a shoebox and she anointed you with oil,
That's right.
and then God just took it from there.
Right.
And then look at you, what like a trajectory that is. Like to be someone who, you weren't supposed to be here. You were supposed to be dead or
Right.
at least brain dead and all that. But
Right.
not to be like fully functioning and like thriving in your purpose.
Right.
I think is definitely a beautiful thing. When was it that you like found out that story about you?
I think it was probably when I was about maybe 5, 6 years old. Well, they always acted like, there was something special, but my mom treated all her children that way.
Yeah, right.
So, and my dad always told me as well, no, you've been anointed and you cannot veer from that path. And there were many things that happened in my life, even in high school and college and everything. And my dad always told me, my dad was a pastor.
Okay.
And he always told me, he said, no, you can't veer from that path, And then I got a special call when I was like 12, 13 years old.
Okay. I
got a special call in my bedroom that I was being called to ministry. So that all of those things kind of kept me, focused on the fact that that I had to do what God told me to do. And really, the musician, I didn't really take lessons.
Okay. Well, you kind of just like picked that up,
just
or what?
prayed for me, and I just started playing. In the congregation, they would sing songs, and I would hear it. Yeah. And just start playing. And even when I went to, so my dad thought, okay, well, I'm going to get her some lessons.
Yeah.
Well, even when I got the lessons, the teacher was too slow for me. It was too slow. So because she wasn't teaching me, I was learning by ear.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And she was trying to teach me theory.
Right.
And it was just too slow. So yeah.
Too slow for your speed.
Yeah. So when God, puts a special gift in you, then that this is not, because you're not seeing everybody do this. So that this is something special here.
But like you said, your dad at that young age, he said you were anointed, so you have to stay on the path of what God has called you to do. Mm-hmm. So do you feel like you found those gifts and you were cultivating those gifts at like an early age, or what was that point that you found it?
Yeah, even at an early age. I've been writing since I was, I don't know, probably since I knew how to write. And even before that, I would make up little songs.
Oh, really?
Well, you're familiar with the Sunshine Band.
Right,
So,
I was never in it, but I've heard of it, of course.
Yeah, and I would direct the Sunshine Band.
Oh, wow.
And then teach them little songs that I had made up. I don't know if they really liked them or not.
Yeah, right, but they was doing it.
But they were doing it, And so, it started early. And then after that, I started writing little skits and little plays. And thank God for my father. He wasn't the kind of dad that, the kind of pastor that would just, stifle the gifts of the young people in his congregation. It enabled us to really flow,
right? Yeah.
And really develop, what God had placed within us.
I love that.
This is what I loved about Church of God in Christ, is that they allow young people to really go forth in their calling or in their gift. If they recognize that you had a gift of singing, you were gonna sing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
If you beat the drums, you gonna beat the drums. You know what?
You good at talking, you gonna come up.
You gonna come up there.
You gonna do an inspirational.
And you gonna do an inspirational sermon. That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's encouraging.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I say, even those little speeches that we used to have.
Yeah.
I don't know if you still do those speeches.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like Easter speeches and the Christmas and time. Oh, yeah, all of that is happening.
And then we would, especially me and then one of my sisters, we always competed to see who would get the longest one.
Oh, yeah.
Because we
who get the longest
who get
speech,
the
right?
longest speech.
Oh yeah, because you're gonna get the loudest applause too, probably.
Right.
You know, like you go, girl.
Right. You didn't get, you couldn't get, the speeches where, yeah, I'm so glad it's Easter Day. I didn't come to stand.
Yeah, right. The little
4 lines. No, we wanted.
That ain't no challenge.
No, we wanted the page.
Right. I need a monologue.
Yes.
I need a monologue for real. To show my talents.
Right.
I love that. Yeah.
And so then that kind of segued into me writing my own things, you know. So I started writing skits and little plays, and my dad would allow us to perform. I would have my own little cast,
right? Oh yeah,
and direct them, and then he allowed us to do that, Whereas a lot of churches at that time did not embrace dramatic arts.
Really?
A lot of churches.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's like a normal thing now.
Right.
To have like church plays and
now.
like these big Easter productions.
Right.
So it sounds like church is really like your stumping grounds, like your playground of first exploring your creativity, which I feel like was the same for me too. Like you said, with those speeches and like skits and everything like that. So I think we are similar in that way.
Right.
But what was the transition for you from just doing like things in church and like with the Sunshine Band and writing and stuff in there, but then taking that and saying, I feel like I can do this in the professional world?
Okay, I was a part of a choir.
Okay.
It's called the Southern California Jurisdiction Number 1, Southern California Young Adult Choir.
Okay. All right.
It first was under Andre Crouch. Andre Crouch was the first director. When I started with that choir, they wanted to do something different. So, since I had already done these little plays at the church and everything, I started writing for them, so that when they did their concerts, they also did little skits and plays to go along with that.
Ah, okay.
So we were the first to go to the Wilshire E-Bell.
Okay.
With a play and concert. And the play was from a poem that I did called Church Girl.
All right.
I used to be a church girl, and we actually performed that along with the concert.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and this is back in the 70s.
Right. Oh yeah.
And it wasn't too many of us.
Yeah.
Going to the Wilshire
exactly.
E-Bell. So it was kind of like an innovative thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so. After that, when the opportunity came along for me to do some faith-based plays, it was just a natural progression.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
You say that there weren't too many people like doing that, right? Like writing, or at least your same skin color doing that thing. Was there somebody that I guess like you looked to like in your career that was maybe doing that you kind of saw on that level?
I'll tell you what, there was a play that really made an impact on me, but then by that time it was called Your Arms Too Short to Box with God.
Okay.
And it came out of Broadway, actually.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it came from Broadway and they performed it here.
Yeah.
But before that, you know what? We were kind of really at the vanguard of doing plays like that. David Talbert came along kind of later, and there was another one called Mama, I Want to Sing, and it had come from back east. I think it came from Philly,
right?
And it was here. But we had done stuff even before that. So,
right, yeah.
So I really wasn't getting my examples from anybody, but kind of like in my head.
Yeah.
And then later on, we saw other playwrights that were coming to LA, and they had a lot of money.
More resources.
They had more resources, right? So they were able to really, have some some really good productions with all of the sets and all of that.
Yeah. Writing to me, writing is a very a difficult thing, and especially like you're writing musicals and all that, and that's very nuanced.
Right.
Like you said, there wasn't anybody that was doing that, so you're kind of like drawing from yourself. But like, what were you drawing from? Like, what was kind of like your inspiration for writing and stuff, or would it kind of just come to you?
Yeah, I don't know, other than the fact that when I was at University of Redlands, I was in drama department, right?
Okay.
And because I didn't know where I was going to be. I was in drama. I was in music as well.
Okay.
But in the drama department at University of Redlands was very, very good. And I acted in a lot of, but they were like Shakespearean plays and
come on, Shakespeare.
Plays. These were classical type plays.
Exactly.
So, I can say that was kind of like a foundation for me.
Gotcha.
Where I knew how to put a play together,
touching the mechanicals of it.
Yeah, right. The mechanics of it from the plays that I had actually acted in.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that was early on, and then after that, and then faith-based plays are a little bit different too. And there was a play called The Great White Throne Judgment, and that play toured all over the country. And that was another play that I really took. Every time it came to LA, I would go to that play.
Yeah.
Because it was, and what was so unique about it as well is that at the end of the play, they always had an altar appeal.
Oh, wow.
And people would just come up and give their lives to Christ.
Really, at the end of the play?
At the end of the play.
Wow.
Yeah. And so when I started writing plays, when I was writing plays at the church, and we started taking our plays all over the place, this is what we wanted. We wanted, and what I wanted is for souls to be saved, for people to come to Christ as a result of it. And it did happen. Right. We went from church to church.
I love that. I love that. I mean, that is the bigger picture, right? For that to happen. So I love that. Yeah, they did open it up for altar call at the end. This isn't just some show or just some entertainment, but it's a deeper, true meaning.
Yeah,
to it. To have a relationship with Christ. So that y'all opened it up.
And matter of fact, the young man that was a really important part of that production. I just met him again, and he's now, at my church. He's older now, of course, but it was just so wonderful to see that he had come full circle. But he says that it's really difficult now to get that kind of energy because all of the people in that play were volunteers.
Oh yeah, that's definitely that's not happening.
That is not happening.
Unless they kids or something, Unless they kids or college kids, they're trying to get something on the resume.
Exactly.
That is definitely not happening.
No.
Would you say that that is one of the most like fulfilling thing of writing and creating? I know it's a difficult thing, like writing something beginning, middle to end. From like workshopping it to rehearsals and then seeing the show. What do you think is the most kind of like fulfilling thing of that process to you?
Oh yeah, well, everything once you get it all together, and you see, the energy that the cast members have, that when they get it.
Oh yeah.
Because I wrote this one called it was the Glory Bound Train.
Okay.
And it was comical, but had a message,
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Had a little medicine in it.
Right. But once you see the cast members really get into it and really get it, see what, they get the organic experience of what it's about, and then they're able to manifest this to the audience.
Yeah.
And you hear, you sit back as a writer or a director, you sit back and you listen and you see the audience gets it. you know.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's fulfilling. And then afterwards, when the message has so permeated the audience that at the appeal time,
right,
that you get people that actually come up.
right.
You know, that is the most fulfilling.
Oh, that's definitely beautiful. I love that. Well, I am so grateful that as of late, we got to actually work together on my latest short film, People.
Right, right.
I was so glad when you said yes when I called you to do it.
Yeah.
You know, I was thinking I had this character that was going to be my aunt. And I was like, who could play that, you know? And I started to think, I'm like, wait, Aunt Dee might be cool. I think recently you had maybe commented on something on my Facebook, so you're kind of like fresh on my mind.
Right.
You know, and I know that, I haven't seen you in like so long, but I'm like, it's gonna be a stretch, but I'm gonna go for it.
Like,
It's gonna be yeah, right. Since I was about this tall,
right.
I knew it was gonna be a stretch, but I'm like, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna see. And you said yes. I'm definitely humbled by it.
Oh yeah, I'm so happy to do that.
Oh no, thank you.
You know what I think? I think there's someone out there that really needs to see this. Someone that's just like you, who's been playing it small, keeping their light dim, that just needs someone like you to let your light shine so they can be inspired to do the same. All it takes is one person, Jalen, and that person can be you.
One of my favorite scenes for sure is to watch ours. I kind of repeated it a lot, you know, as of late. But your character is very special because, you know, like my character is an artist and he's come to the day of being ready to, you know, share his work with the world. The first person that he shows is his auntie.
Right.
And it's this safe place to land because she's supportive of him
and
is full on behind him.
Right.
Do you feel like you are that for people in your life today, like that soft place to land for people to come and you know, tell you their dreams and you kind of, you know, propel them forward?
Oh yeah. I definitely feel that that's part of my calling and part of my purpose.
Nice.
Because I was in the school system for 38, almost 40 years.
Wow.
And in that capacity, I was teacher, I was counselor, I was mother, I was auntie.
Oh yeah.
It was all of that because I worked in what we call, you know, at-risk schools.
Right.
Except for the little time that I worked, you know, out in Pacific Palisades, which is a whole nother story.
Right. That's a whole nother interview.
Yeah, it's a whole nother thing, a whole nother interview, because that was during the time when the racial thing was going on in LA Unified.
Gotcha.
And they were moving the black teachers to the white areas and the white teachers to the inner city.
I gotcha.
But when I opted to come back, I could opt to come back. So when I came back, I worked with young people who had some of the worst situations at home, you know, and the only person that they had in their lives to encourage them were teachers.
Oh yeah.
Were teachers, and you know, and we did a lot. People don't even know how much, you know, we did out of our own resources, out of our own pockets, you know, paying for prom dresses and for supplies in our classrooms and getting supplemental materials and that kind of thing. You know, at one time in LAUSD, we were getting books in the school where I taught. We were getting books that were like 10, 20 years old from other schools, you know, that, you know, richer schools.
Yeah, right.
You know.
They were just passing them down.
They would just pass them down. Stuff. Right. And they had information in there that was outdated. Yeah. And, you know, so there were things, and there were things that we had to really fight for, you know, as teachers, as educators in those schools. We had situations where kids in a lab, in a science lab, were sharing the microphone. The microscope.
Yeah, microscope. Yeah, I got you.
Had to pass it around.
Yikes.
You know, and so there were things that we really fought for in those schools, and so we became the ones who really encouraged and it's really good today. That's a fulfilling part too today when I see my ex-students
Oh yeah,
and
for
they
sure.
have become, somebody.
I love that.
They're walking the halls of Congress, or they have their own law firm, or they have their own plumbing business, or they're doing things. I mean, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
And it's because that, Miss Lakey, you kept on us and you kept planting that seed. You kept telling us that we could do it and we can make it. And so that gives me a sense of fulfillment. I don't want to stop because of that and just say, take my laurels and just, but that's what keeps me motivated too.
Yeah, no, I love that. It definitely sounds like you are pulling a lot of people up and, helping them and motivating them.
Yeah, that's what we do. Even as people, that's what we have to do.
Absolutely.
That's what we have to, it's so necessary now, especially, in our communities, in our churches, wherever God plants us.
Yeah.
George Washington Carver had a saying, bloom where you're planted.
I love that.
And I wrote a poem with that as my title.
Mm-hmm.
I copped that title from him, and then I went on my own little trek with it. But it's so true.
Oh, yeah.
Wherever you're planted, wherever God has put you, bloom there.
Come on now.
Do something.
Right, yeah.
Be something. Yeah. Encourage somebody to go farther, in their life.
I love that. Bloom where you're planted. I might steal that one too.
Bloom where you're planted. Yeah.
Bloom where you're planted. Yeah. I love that. But in the same regard of like what you are for people now, was there somebody like that for you when you were first starting that was kind of helping you out or encouraging you and helping you with different opportunities?
All along the way. And they were other than my mom and dad.
Yeah.
And let's see, Mother Jones at the church. There's always a mother now.
It's always a mother in there somewhere,
And I had my teachers, my own teachers were just so good. Mr. Glanville Lockett, Miss Alicia Williams, Mr. X.L. Smith. Mr. X.L. Smith made us memorize the preamble to the Constitution, the Gettysburg Address, all of those, the
Emancipation Proclamation.
Even now, 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this country a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. And now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. We are met on a battlefield. It's still there. It is still there. It's still there.
I love it.
I'm even surprised.
Yeah, right. I was shocked that she kept going.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, it was teachers like that.
Mr.
Zerl Pursley, who, and they've all, all transitioned, gone to heaven.
Right.
But, he taught me how to play the cello. And I played cello all the way to junior Philharmonic.
Oh, really?
And without private lessons. This is only what we learned in the classroom and at lunchtime.
Wow.
Because teachers were so dedicated.
Oh, yeah.
And so involved in making sure we were excellent. You know?
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. I feel like it's always teachers, like for some reason, whatever,
Did you have teachers like that?
Oh yeah, definitely, for sure. I know one, I had an English teacher actually, Miss Carpenter, in 7th grade. I remember we were reading this like short story in class, and I was like one of the characters in there. And then it came to one part of it where I don't remember what I said, but like I knew I didn't say what was on the page. Like I just like ad-libbed something, and like the whole class just like erupted, just like in laughter.
Oh,
and like the whole time I was just like I was really fully doing it. Like everybody was just reading the story, but like I was like really like portraying it and like, the whole thing.
Right.
And then I remember after I walked out of class, and Miss Carpenter came out and got me. She was like, "Hey Ben," and I was like, "Hey," like she's like, "Are you in drama at all?" And I was like, "Nah, I'm not." She was like, "You should do drama. Like, you should join that." And then like that next year I like took a took a drama class, and I love that. I mean, I didn't, of course, I didn't stay to the path of that. That's a whole other interview.
Right,
but
right.
she was the first person that kind of like put that into my head.
Put that seed in your, right.
Yeah. I feel like it's always teachers.
Always teachers, yeah.
Speaking of, you said like bloom where you're planted, and I feel like that reminds me of the phrase, this woman that I look up to, Issa Rae, she always says networking across, like working with the people that are with you. Stop trying to work with like the industry people, or like trying to, reach out to them to put you on. Right. Reach out to your coworker, to your college mate, and like, work with them and cultivate and like build something. I feel like you have found that with Mr. Don B. Welch.
Right.
I recently went to your play of his. It was beautiful. You did a great job in that.
Right.
And you have collaborated with him for years now, I believe, right?
For
years you've collaborated with him.
23 years now.
23 years.
23 years.
Yikes. What is it about him and his plays that has kept you coming back to work with him over these past 20 years?
The thing that really made us bond is the fact that he was doing faith-based plays.
Oh yeah, because that was your niche.
That was my niche.
That's your thing.
And see, that's how God works.
Come on,
He puts you into the place that he wants you to be for you to do the things that he has called you to do. And while I could have gone the Hollywood route.
Oh yeah, secular.
But and he's done some secular pieces. I've starred in some of his but what I've noticed is that he always has a message in his work. And so, but actually, the reason that I really gravitated towards him is because of the faith-based plays. And I think the first one that we did was the Hallelujah Mahaya.
Okay.
And that was the first piece. And then the second was Heaven Bound, which is the one that we're getting ready to do again.
Oh, okay. I think I've seen that in January, right?
Yeah,
okay, nice.
Yeah. We were able to get Melba Moore.
Nice.
And Kenny Lattimore, for that one, yes.
No, but I love that you have found this partnership with him.
Yeah.
I feel like that's definitely a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Are there some people out there that you kind of look forward to maybe working with in the future?
Well, there was one that I was, I don't even want to.
You want to speak to that one?
I don't want to speak that.
You don't want to speak to that one?
Because I've since changed my mind. For various reasons.
Change the woman. All right. Well, can we talk about it after? Can you tell me after?
Yeah, we can talk about it afterwards.
All right. Tell me after.
There's some really good faith-based films that are being made now. And I think, there's a couple of brothers. I think it's called the Kendrick brothers. Yeah, they're making some really good faith-based movies now.
Okay.
I think that movie War Room.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one.
Theirs,
okay.
They're making some really good movies now.
Nice, I love that.
And so I would kind of, because I like film work, I've made some films with Don, but I really like the film where it's so much easier.
With film?
Than stage.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh, come on.
Yes, by far.
All the rehearsals. Going to the theater every night and back and forth, and like it's definitely tiring. But film, you come for a day, a couple of hours, and that's it.
Yeah, kick it out, and hey, it's over.
So in this stage of your career, do you want to gear towards maybe getting into some more film work outside of stage?
I would like to get into some more film work. Yeah,
I love that.
And right now, I'm working on a piece that I'm doing. I want to produce, and then then a one-woman show.
A one-woman show.
Yeah,
but that's going to be a play though. That's going to be a stage
that would
thing.
be a play.
A one-woman show. That's happening. That's happening in 2025.
Well, I hope. I hope.
I love it. Come on now, let's speak it. I'm speaking it right now. It's happening.
Okay, we'll just speak it. Put it out there.
I'm coming to Aunt Dee's one-woman show.
One-woman show, right.
So a woman who has done so much, you've performed on so many stages and, done so many things. What is it that you're still excited to do?
I'm still excited to, I want to do more writing.
Okay.
Of course. I want to play with some different genres in music. as well.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'd like to put a lot of my poetry into another format, you know,
Gotcha.
like, and so.
Like in film or what? Like you
Well,
want to record some
yeah,
poetry?
like in film, and also, I'm exploring more like a hip hop
Okay.
kind of.
Some like Hamilton.
Yeah.
Some Hamilton vibes.
Right.
All right.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
I love it.
So, yeah, and so it's other things that I'm really, you know, kind of exploring because, you know, I want to get over to the young people more.
The next
I mean,
generation.
they love the work because they love the poems because the poems rhyme.
Right.
And
catchy.
rhythm is very, and that's, yeah. And but I want to write so that more messaging type things
Gotcha.
as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
As somebody who's done so much, been on so many stages, been on so many platforms, and it's still excited to do a lot of things. I'm curious to know for you, at the end of it all, you know, like when it's all said and done, what is Aunt Dee hitting her mark? What does that look like to you?
Well, you know, your life is your message.
Yes, ma'am.
So when you feel that, I guess hitting your mark is when you don't have regrets, or you have little regret for how you have lived your life, and also there's a scripture in the Bible that says we press towards the mark of the prize.
Come on now.
Of the high calling, which is in Jesus Christ. And that's that's the press that I make. You know, it doesn't matter about man's accolades. It's good. It's nice to hear the applause. It's nice when people come up to you and say, "Oh my God, you did such a great job. Oh, you're a beast." You know, it's nice
cool.
to hear. But there's more. And when you can get the applause of the Most High, you know, you make mistakes, but you should learn from your mistakes and grow from your failures. And when you have, you know, you've made mistakes and you've grown, you know, and then you've learned, you know, that that there's more. There's more to you than just this external, you know, these gifts that you have. Your gifts can be your purpose, but the only way they can be your purpose is to allow God to use those gifts to take you to that next level, and only God can do that.
Come on now.
Yeah.
It's all Him.
Yeah, it's all Him, because he wouldn't invest that in you if He didn't expect you to reach that level. And let me tell you, if you're not doing it for humanity, you know, then it's all vanity.
Come on now.
It's all vanity.
Yeah.
It's no good, you know, and so. That's when I feel, I don't think that you ever really hit the mark until you're almost out of here.
Wow.
You know?
It's until then, huh?
because that's when your legacy steps in, and it says, and you know, people that as long after they're gone, their work is still here.
Still living.
It's still living. It's still as vital. It's still as relevant as it was when they were alive, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And that's why I try now to leave enough so that after I'm gone, you know, someone can come along and say, oh, maybe I could do this too. Or, oh, she wrote this, and oh wow, you know, and they can get something to encourage them, and then it keeps on. It's vital.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, it becomes a dynamic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. That's beautiful. And you definitely are doing that. I know you're inspiring the next person, the next person. You're definitely inspiring me.
I hope so.
You're definitely inspiring me. I told you before in that last take that we did during our film when you were like, you know, encouraging my character.
Right.
I just stopped acting. I was just like listening to you because I felt like it was a moment of, you know, I know you weren't speaking to me, but it felt like you were speaking to me with those words.
Yeah.
And I was definitely inspired by that and impacted by that.
Right.
So I love that moment that we had.
Right.
But before we wrap up out of here, how could the people connect with you and support what you have going on? I don't know if you're on social media. I don't know if my Dee is on social media like that.
I'm only on Facebook.
Facebook.
My kids have been telling me to get an Instagram account.
You got to get an Instagram. Shannon, Ariel,
maybe.
Mom needs an Instagram like today. She needs an Instagram. We got to get it happening.
That's what someone told me. He said, get your grandson to give you to put you on Instagram.
So just Facebook, okay. Yeah. Facebook, Delores Lakey-Stewart.
It's under Delores, actually my real account, because I think I have 3.
You got 3 accounts. Okay. So what's the fan page account that people can look at?
Okay, Delores Lakey.
Delores Lakey.
Yeah, because somebody hacked the other one, and I had to go back to the.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. So really, to tell you the truth, I don't even know what's happening on Facebook anymore. But I do know that funny. There's one account, Delores Lakey, that's on there.
All right, I got
that seems to be viable now. Okay.
I love it. Well, I'll make sure to link your fan page, Facebook account to all my Facebook users out there, so they can connect with you. Right. You know, and see what
I'm gonna have to do something because my book is coming out pretty soon.
Come on now, let's plug the book, baby.
And I've got to get all that.
Oh yeah, we gonna make that happen. Well, if it's not Shannon and Ariel who I'm tasking with that right now. Me and Asia, we're going to do that.
Well, you know what? Hey, I will compensate you for doing it.
You will?
Yes, I will. Yes, I will.
You know, we need that money.
Because you guys don't you have a marketing thing now?
Oh, business, yeah. A to B Visuals. Yeah, come on now. This is A to B Visuals in here, baby.
All right. We connected.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for being on, Auntie Dee. I really appreciate it. And I hope that you were inspired by watching this. And if you were, feel free to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you can be connected with us and see other episodes that we have going on. All right. We'll catch you at the next one.